Back to drinking beer this week. Why? I honestly don't know why. It's the honestly lazy shit. Might as well sit around and drink a beer. This week on the episode, I have no clue yet. Because that is how honestly lazy rolls. It's like its own thing. And I'm the host of it. Because no one else would host it. I don't know what else to say for this intro, so just roll the intro.
The Honestly Lazy Podcast.
Welcome to the Honestly Lazy Podcast with your host, me, Mr. BoyStick. I don't know why I say Mr. It's just kind of something I say, but welcome to the podcast. Today on the podcast, I'm going to talk about people who have a podcast. I say podcast way too much. For example, what I just did. But before I get into that, I got to do what I always do and give the shout outs and give the intro that I usually do. If you're listening to this, you're listening on YouTube or Spotify, typed in the Honestly Lazy Podcast. And that shit popped up. If you're listening on either or, subscribe, like, follow, do all the good stuff. If you've been listening for a while and still haven't subscribed, you might as well. Support me, get me in the algorithm better, get this thing bigger and bigger. I'm really trying not to say podcast that much because something happened today and it was just driving me nuts. I'd like to give some shout outs out. Obviously, shout out to Jonesy, who at this point will be coming back from Mexico, and I hope he had a great trip. Shout out to TJ Hodder. He did release the interview last week. It was a hell of a good thing, hell of a good interview, and I'm almost through it. It's weird listening to yourself on someone else's show, and it's really weird to hear how much you annoy yourself. That's why I don't even listen to my stuff after I record it. Like I say in the interview I had, I pretty much know what I say, and if I feel like I said something offensive or edgy, I might take it out, but I got a pretty good handle and a pretty good system on my show and the way I'm rolling with it. Shout out to the people who have been subscribing, who have been leaving comments. I don't think anybody left comments on the last episode yet, but there was my buddy Matt Penny, who gave me a nice little comment on the episode before that, or on the last episode, I don't know. He just got engaged, so congrats to him. He's been a buddy of mine. He's always been supportive in the creative things and me doing shows, and for me when I used to be a rapper and all that type of stuff, he was right there supporting. So thank you very much for the sub, and congrats on getting engaged. I should just give a random shout out to Courtney, the one who always hounds me about my pod, because, without her, this shit wouldn't be happening right now, so might as well just give her the quick little shout out that she deserves. And besides that, I don't know who else to shout out. This is the Honestly Lazy Podcast, and there was one thing that I was watching today that was absolutely driving me nuts, and it was the fact that, a lot of people will come out talking about their own shows, their own podcasts and stuff like that. They have tricks and tips videos. They have spaces on Twitter where people can join in. They talk about their podcasts, all that type of stuff. But all that's fine and dandy, and I get what you're trying to do, but it's the fact of the matter that I'm being hypocritical right now with this episode. It drives me nuts how much people actually say the word podcast while they're recording, or while they're talking about their show. I don't know what it is. I feel like it just makes them feel more professional, or they think they sound more professional or something. I don't know. But let me tell you, that word starts to drive me nuts when it's said like 3 times under a minute. Like, I literally saw a video today that popped up that said, tricks and chips. Like, how to get your podcast bigger with marketing and stuff like that. And I just skipped forward. I skipped forward to a random part of this video, and literally it wasn't even a minute, I heard the word podcast 3 fucking times, and I stopped watching the video right there. I don't know what it is with that word. I think it's just like PTSD of when I didn't want to do one myself, And like, the Hodder show would hound me at work, and just he said it a lot back then. I don't think he says as much anymore, but it was just like it was just weird. And I feel like the people who say it a lot, it's just like a security thing for their show. Like for me, I take pride in my show, I really do. But at the same time, I'm not like, I don't like, I do think about the show and what I'm going to talk about. When it comes to like the marketing or like, trying to advertise my show, I don't really care that much. I don't like, I'm doing this for fun, would like to make a living off it, but I don't even like have a general audience I'm really trying to point it towards. I'm just kind of doing this to talk to myself because I talk to myself too much. So sing in front of a camera with my microphone, at least it looks like I'm doing something productive while my brain's talking and talking and talking. It's just one of those things. But when it comes to that word and people saying it too much, I'm like, you need to chill. Especially like the people who, I don't know. It's like the people who talk so highly about their show, and they could be doing great, but I mean, they're not like a Joe Rogan or anything like that. Oh my god. The fact I just said that they're not like Joe Rogan or anything like that. Oh my god. I don't know. Like when I have this show, it's just I'm trying to do a morning radio show, and other people are like, really, like, I don't know. It's amazing to me because I finally started to listen to other people's shows, and it's amazing what people actually do with their shows. Like, I just started listening to the Boys Cast, I think. It's Ryan Long's podcast he's from Ajax, but he lives out in New York now, and I've been listening to that, and that's the funniest shit I've ever heard. Like, he's a very funny man, and I was dying listening to his podcast, but it was just dumb shit. But like, some people just sit there and like take people's stories off Reddit and like, just read them and then add sound effects and stuff. TJ was telling me on his own interview that like he wrote his own horror stories and add sound effects and stuff like that. Even my old buddies, the Warm Beer show, the Warm Beer podcast, like I wish he would come back with that one. But that one to me was the most creative show I've ever listened to, because I think it was only like 15 to 20 minutes long, but so many segments and so much editing to just keep you going and so much sound effects. It was a really entertaining show. I really hope he comes back with that. But like for me and how this show is going, I have the music in the background right now that you can hear. And random video of the week, which I'm not sure if I'm doing one this week. I gotta look through my videos and see if there's anything that I can really think of making fun of. It's a lot of work to really make fun of a video, and on top of the fact, I'm starting to realize I'm not that good at it, but I'll get better. But like, back to the topic in hand. If you're one of those people who has a podcast, and in your own podcast, you say podcast every other word, you need to stop that shit. So the Super Bowl was last weekend. I know I'm late to this. I'm very late on talking about the Super Bowl and all that type of stuff. If you're here to hear me talk about the actual game, just stop watching right now or skip forward to the next part of the segment, because that's not what I'm talking about at all. As a matter of fact, I'm not even a big football fan. I think I've literally watched one Super Bowl where I watched the whole game, like start to finish. You know the reason why? It's because my buddy, we had a jam session before it. So I was honestly there just to jam and drink beer. And then next thing you know, we're watching the Super Bowl, and like, it was like the most basic, like, no, it wasn't basic, but it had like the plates and, the Super Bowl food, I guess they call it, and all that. But I've never been a fan of the Super Bowl, and on top of the fact, I've never really been a fan of the halftime show. Like, not that I've never been a fan, but I've never really gone out of my way to watch a Super Bowl halftime show. You know, and this year I finally did, because why not? It's like Eminem, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Kendrick Lamar. And I'm sorry, and I know everyone's going to be mad at me, but the girl who sung in it, I never even knew her music. I'm sorry, it was like pop. I didn't know it. While we were watching it, my girlfriend was even like, you don't know this shit? And I'm like, no, I I know Eminem, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg. I didn't even know Kendrick Lamar's music that well, honestly. I seen him live way back, but I didn't really know his music that well. I didn't know the song that he played, and 50 Cent was the big surprise. But we'll get into that in a little bit. There was one thing before the Super Bowl, because, you know, like, building up to the Super Bowl, it's like every type of media is talking about it. So for me, it's like I listen to the radio, early morning radio shows every day, and of course they're talking about the Super Bowl. And I found it the most interesting thing I heard. This is typical, like, how could I not have seen this coming type thing? But I learned from the radio that the most return rates in like stores all year round is actually the day after the Super Bowl. Why? Because people, I guess, buy TVs. But they buy the biggest TV to watch Super Bowl, and then they just return it the next day and get their money back, I guess. I don't know. It's one hell of a thing, and it seems like a lot of work for just a one-day thing, but in America especially, that's their game. I mean, even for me, when the Stanley Cup comes around, that shit starts, like, popping off. Unless the Leafs are in it, the only reason why I watch the Stanley Cup is if the Leafs are in it, to see how far they get before they fail. I'm sorry, and I know there's going to be a lot of Leafs people listening to this right now who are going to be mad at me. But guess what? They always fail. I don't know what it is. It's like they get so far and they do so good. It's not even, it's like literally first round they'll win like 4. It's like you just need to lead. I don't even know how it works. Like fucking, they can win like 3. Okay, I don't know. And then it's like okay, and they'll win the next one. Then they start losing, and the next thing you know, it's the 7th game. And it's like fucking 5-0 the other team, and Leafs are out. That's what I watch it for. If they ever get to the second round, it'll be like fucking, that's history right there. Fuck the Leafs if they ever win it. But the fact they got to the second round, that's the headliner. They actually made it to the second round. And if they win that, oh my god, like fucking people getting Toronto Maple Leaf tattoos everywhere. You know, on their necks, on their foreheads, on their forearms, in their palms. That's the way that shit would go down. But it's like it'll never happen. But even when the Stanley Cup comes to town, I don't think a lot of people go out and buy a TV for like the final game. They just kind of like, I think the difference is Canada will just go out to bars and celebrate, or go down to like in front of the arena and watch on a big screen there. They don't go out and buy TVs and then return them next day. I think that's where Canada is more lazy than the States. The States will go all out. They will drink beer and smoke pot in like outside and probably never get into the stadium for the Super Bowl and watch the TV in their trailers of the Super Bowl. They will go all out on the most unhealthy food of the year for one day of the Super Bowl on a Sunday when they should be in church. They will go all out for this one day, the greatest day in football history every year. And why? For love of football. I don't know where I went there. I kind of forgot where I was going with that. But they go all out, man. Like, the fact that I heard that's the biggest return rate is the TVs after the Super Bowl. Like people say, oh, Americans, man, they're lazy. Fuck that. I'm not saying that anymore after I heard that. No, props to these guys, man. They throw the Super Bowl party and, you know, they go all out. They'll spend like $4,000 on a new TV and return it the next day, which is probably a better deal than what the Super Bowl is actually selling tickets for. I cannot believe the prices of the Super Bowl tickets this year, man. This shit was crazy. I swear to God, like they posted it on like 6Buzz or World Star. I saw it somewhere on the internet that like someone actually got the prices. Well, no, you could have fucking looked them up yourself, but I never look it up because I'll never go to the Super Bowl. It's for a rich man's. It's for a rich man now because it costs, I think, $6,000 for a fucking nosebleed. Like most expensive Eminem like concert, Dr. Dre concert ever. Most expensive halftime show ever, if you ask me, to see Eminem sing one song. Like, this shit was crazy. Like, the Creative Flicks was like showing all the like YouTube celebrities who were there. Like Kanye West was there and shit. I'm like, these are the people who can afford it. I guarantee you half of them don't even give a fuck about football. They're just there because it's like, that's like the new flex is going to a Super Bowl. Like, it's not meant for the blue collar guy who works at a factory like 7 to 5 every day, comes home and drinks beer in his trailer and fucking watches Super Bowl. Oh my God, if I offended anybody there, I'm sorry, but you know what? Fuck it, it's a joke. Grow up. Like, it's just not even meant for anymore. It's literally meant for celebrities. Oh, look at all the celebrities that came here. Half of them don't even fucking care. Logan Paul was there. The funny thing was, I see that like Logan Paul was there, like Theo Vaughn, FaZe Clan was there. I don't know, like some fucking TikTokers, wherever the fuck their names are, the Dixie fucking girl, Charlie, wherever the hell they are. They were all there. But the one person that you'd think would be there, and I didn't see him there, but he might have been, but Mr. Beast was not at the Super Bowl. And I've only seen Mr. Beast at one Super Bowl. It was actually the only one I watched beginning to end, and I didn't notice why he was there. So when Mr. Beast actually went to the Super Bowl, I'm pretty sure he wasn't even there to watch football. He was just there to make a video. And his whole video was, he made sure that when someone kicked the ball, or did I don't know football at all, but when they kicked the ball, and it was going over the T thing, I don't know football, so shut up. When it went over that, him and all his buddies had a sign, a big sign that said subscribe to PewDiePie. It was in the middle of that T series, and PewDiePie first one to 100 subs, and like obviously everyone knew Mr. Beast was a huge supporter of PewDiePie getting to 100 million subscribers first. So he literally bought tickets to the Super Bowl just to do that. I mean, all these other people, it's just like, yo, you spent so much money to film yourself jamming out to Eminem's one song. And I keep saying this, but I'm going to fucking, don't worry, when we get into the halftime part of this, fuck it, you'll hear a lot. The other thing that was driving me nuts about the Super Bowl is everybody and their grandmother. All my social media was Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl. People were Snapchatting me like with their food, like getting ready for halftime, all shit. Okay, like if you're my friend, I don't care if you're watching the Super Bowl. I'm sorry. I don't care. You're watching the Super Bowl, good for you. I'm on the other hand, I'm watching the halftime show too. I don't need everybody filming the TV like, yo, look at Dr. Dre, he's fucking killing it and shit like that. I don't care. I literally watch the exact same thing. Who do you think you're fucking filming this for? Like, everybody's watching the exact same thing as you, and if they're not, that means they don't really give a fuck about what the hell you're watching. They don't give a fuck enough about the Super Bowl. There might be like a couple people like, God damn, I'm at work, I can't watch the halftime show, and they'll find a stream or something later to watch it on. I mean, but to everybody who posts that they're watching the Super Bowl, I'm just going to be the guy. Call me an asshole. Fuck, I don't care. Good for you. Keep watching the Super Bowl. While you're at it, post the same fucking 10 songs every day that you're listening to, too. Because I love that. I love seeing the songs that you're listening to. Oh, wait. I don't care about that either. I'm sorry. I just don't care. It's a lot. It's a lot for the mental part of old stick here to sit there and see the same songs and fucking Super Bowl stuff. I just can't believe it. Like, the Super Bowl tickets were literally that expensive. They were. And I'm sitting there like, Okay, they're that expensive. Eminem and them. By the way, like, so let's get to the halftime part of this whole thing. The halftime show, it was good. It was good. Was it historical? To me, no. I'll tell you why. I don't think anything was ever historical with any Super Bowl performance. The first one I ever watched was The Who. That was the first ever Super Bowl I watched with the halftime show. That first halftime show I watched at the Super Bowl. Reason why? I was into The Who at the time. I wanted to see if the other drummer could do what Keith Moon could do on the drums. It was a great halftime show. Nothing special about it. It was just a free half-hour concert of The Who. You know, they played a couple songs. I didn't ever watch the Michael Jackson one. I'm sure I can find it on YouTube. And, I didn't watch the one where Lady Gaga jumped off the thing and they turned it into a meme. I don't know who else has ever played there. Like, I think Katy Perry. I haven't watched any of them. I'm not even trying to be mean. I don't watch them. Like I said, I don't go out my way. And there's nothing really historical about it. Oh, they played the halftime show. Like, the year that SpongeBob was supposed to play the halftime show, they showed a clip of the fucking trumpets. SpongeBob didn't sing at all. It was terrible. Nah, that was the one with Adam Levine, actually. That one was surprising when I saw Travis Scott come out and do sicko mode. I think that was Travis Scott. Holy shit, I don't know my music right now. But, like, everyone afterwards, like, right after that shit, historical history was made at the Super Bowl halftime performance. Like, greatest halftime show ever and all this type of stuff. And I was like, there was nothing really special about this. To me, a historical performance is like Gord Downey of the Tragically Hip playing his last show with brain cancer where you can literally see the scar on the side of his head. Historical is like, I don't know, Hendrix doing the U.S. national anthem at Woodstock or just Woodstock in general. Historical is like all the bands getting together at the end of Live 8 in Toronto and sing Keep On Rocking the Free World and then sing the national anthem. Like, historical is like, I don't know, Queen doing Live 8. Or Live Aid. Live 8, that's what it's called. This was just another performance. Like, there was nothing like... The highlight to me of the whole thing was Dre actually playing the piano. That was sick. That motherfucker can play piano. And then he does the Still Dre. He like played a cool little lick to finish off Lose Yourself. And then just started doing the Still Dre beat. Or piano. Yeah, it was sick. Like, I dug that a lot. But, I mean, everything else, it was just kind of like, okay. Like, Kendrick's performance was cool, if you guys missed it. He had a bunch of guys in, like, cardboard boxes. And then he got out. And he got them to do, like, a formation where they're always walking, but they're never hitting each other. And, like, the camera was over top of them. They were, like, doing a pattern. That was pretty cool. On top of the fact that Kendrick was actually part of it. The twist of the whole thing was seeing 50 Cent hang down and do Candy Shop. I don't know 50 Cent's shit too well, but he just hung down. He was upside down. He was doing it. Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre, they were sick. Snoop Dogg doing I forget what he did. America's Most Wanted. I forget what he said. Yeah, I think it was America's Most Wanted. And Dr. Dre did California Love and what was the other song? Oh my god, I'm losing it. I don't know. Like the stage setup itself was cool. Nothing special. And I mean, everyone was like, oh my god, Eminem killed it. Okay. Like, look, I love seeing Eminem perform. I always do. I really do love seeing Eminem perform on TV. Like, I watched him every time he was at the Grammys. I saw him do Forever with Drake and Lil Wayne. I saw him do, like, Love the Way You Lie and, like, I Need a Doctor. It's great to see Eminem perform. But he went to the Super Bowl and he did Lose Yourself. Which, I mean, look, baller song. I love Lose Yourself. Unfortunately, to me, it's been kind of overplayed. You literally had Dr. Dre there. You guys could have done a lot of cool shit together. You guys could have done one of the songs that you have done together. Guilty Conscience. Forgot About Dre. I think they should have done Forgot About Dre. That would have been sick. I mean, the funniest thing about the whole thing was that Eminem took a kneel. Like, I guess the NFL told him, you're not allowed to take a kneel, and he did it anyways. And to, like, protest or something when Dr. Dre was playing the piano. And the worst part was, I didn't know Eminem was taking a kneel. I didn't. I thought it was just part of his performance, you know? That was like, he just freezes on the ground. And Dr. Dre can go and play his little piano and keep the show going. I did not know that was like a protest. So I felt really stupid on Monday when I started seeing like, oh, Eminem like took a kneel at his halftime show and shit. I was like, oh, was he? I thought it was just part of his show. So I don't know. People are probably going to say, oh, you're an idiot. How'd you not know that and shit? I just didn't notice. It was not like that. It was not that big of a, like, okay, good for you. Yeah, take a kneel. But, like, I didn't know. It was the weirdest thing. Like, he just sat there frozen. I thought it was just like, okay, yeah, just, he can't be moving around while Dr. Dre's trying to do the piano, I guess. So, he just stayed frozen while Dr. Dre kept the show going. I don't know. I felt very dumb, but at the same time, I was just kind of like, oh, whatever. Cheers to Eminem. He did good. I didn't really know what to say to it, so fuck it. So, Eminem, you did a great job. You did great thing to lose yourself. And like I said, I wouldn't say it was historical. It was a good halftime show, but at the end of it, like, it was good. But not really a Super Bowl guy in the first place, so maybe I can get away with it. I don't know. Now, welcome to the Honestly Lazy Shower Beer Quote of the Day. That guy who did that Shower Beers logo can be a real fucking asshole, but he's still my friend. Cheers to Bill. This is your Shower Beer Quote of the Day. This has been your Honestly Lazy Shower Beer Quote of the Day.
The Honestly Lazy Podcast.
It's been a story that I've kind of been on the back burner with, you know, like, it's one of those stories where it wasn't that big of news. Like, it was news, it was on some talk shows and stuff, but it was just something where I was like, it's just kind of something where if I have time where it's like, I feel the vibe enough, I'm going to talk about it. And I feel like today, this is the best time to really talk about this type of story. So I found out through, I think it was like World Star or something like that, like last month, that there was a guy who decided to donate a kidney to his girlfriend's mother. Like, you know, not all heroes wear capes type situation. This guy literally gave his kidney to save his girlfriend's mother's life. And in return, not only did this girl dump him after literally like under a month later, she has remarried since then. Now, this is like the biggest like fuck you I've ever seen to a guy. This is the biggest scumbag move I've ever seen. Like, I've seen like boys or men and women kind of both do like shitty things to the other person. Like, you know, usually guys end up just fucking the girl's sister or something like that. Still bad, but like, or, you know, they just keep on cheating. They're dirty, disgusting dirtbags. And usually girls just, you know, cheat on their husbands or boyfriends, and sometimes they're pregnant with the other guy. I don't know. I recommend you just watch a lot of Jerry Springer, and, you know, that's where you see the dirt of the earth if you think it's real. I think it's fake, but if half that shit's real, then there you go. You got some fucking weird people out there. But I'm just sitting there wondering right now, like, how the hell... First of all, I feel bad for the guy. Like, this is terrible. This cannot happen. Like, obviously this guy is a great man. He I don't know, maybe he did it thinking I'm gonna get laid so much more if I do this. Maybe he was a little bit uneducated and said, how bad, like, you know, I can survive with one, how bad could it really be? Maybe he was just like, one of them is failing anyways, they'll give her the bad one. I don't know his story, but it is definitely something that's just like, oh, To all the men in the world, if this isn't a lesson to all of you, I don't know what is. It's a sad day. It's a sad day for this man. I mean, could you imagine, like, could you imagine actually, like, waking up from surgery? Like, here's the way I picture it. I could see this going down as, like, I think, honestly, the girl just set it up. Her mom needed a kidney, found a guy. I was like, oh, yeah, if you give my mom your kidney, I'll give you the best dome you'll ever have in your life. And he just fell for it. Maybe he hasn't had sex in a while or something, but he fell for it. And afterwards, for all we know, the man is still recovering at home in his bed. And she just comes up and just says something like, hey, babe, how are you feeling? He's just kind of like, oh, fuck, you know, like, kind of miss a kidney right now. But, you know, I'm glad I did the right thing. Like, you know, I did it for our relationship, for our love and stuff. And she goes, hey, yeah. So about that, I feel like maybe we should have some time apart. He's like, wait, what? I just gave your mom a kidney and you want time apart from me? Yeah, I know. It was like a great thing and all. Like, you know, my mom's very thankful for it, but like, you and me, we're not really vibing now, and I think out of all times, this is the time where we should just split ways. It's like, no shit, we haven't been vibing lately, bitch. I've been fucking saying you're dying because I just got a kidney removed. Okay, so this is why we should break up, because you're always focusing on yourself. Bitch, I just gave your mom a kidney. I know, but it's just not doing it for me. I flick my bean more than we fuck nowadays because of it. So I'm sorry, but you gotta go. Like, he's fucking packing his shit and moving out, and she's already moving the new guy in type deal. Like, just like the biggest betrayal in the world. I swear, I hope to God, with this guy and this guy's story, I really hope that he's like getting laid, or he has a great relationship with a good girl now. I really hope this is the way it's ending up for him. I don't really know where he is. I didn't do that much research, but I mean, like, out of all, like there's no calling this man like a simp or anything like that. He just got fucking, like, that's the most fucked up checkmate I've ever seen. And this girl, well, I'm just gonna say this girl is a dirty fucking hoe for doing it. And I don't know. If you ask me, her picture should be like up everywhere. People should know who this chick is. This should be like the guy. If this isn't a red flag for the guy that she's remarrying to, like, wait, you did what? You fucking made a guy give your mom a kidney and then you dumped him? If that's not a big red flag to like, oh, like, maybe I shouldn't marry this girl. The only thing I can think of is this girl is a fucking hoe, and she can suck a fucking golf ball out of a garden hose, you know, type situation. That's the only way I can really see why, like, after, especially how viral this story went, like, I'm sure she'd be even telling guys, like, yeah, he gave my mom a kidney and I still dumped him. Like, fucking red flags. But this is the generation we live in, man. Like, I've had situations myself where I've been played by girls and they will literally, like, date me and then they go back to their exes, you know? It's like, I've been played like that before, and trust me, it fucking sucks when you actually think, man, this could have been the girl, but then she runs back to her fucking her ex-boyfriend. She just needs a break from him, and she just needs some dick on the reg, you know? It's a fucked up thing. But what can I say? I've made it through. This man will make it through, and he will have a great, loving relationship. Or for all we know, he'll just be single and fucking good-looking girls for the rest of his life. Maybe he becomes a millionaire. Who knows? Maybe he's going to be the next TikTok big star. Like 100 million people subscribed or following him on TikTok. You never know where his life's going to go. For all we know, G Fuel has already sponsored him because of his story. For all we know, he's driving around in a Lamborghini or a Bugatti. I don't know, Lamborghini. That's what I was about to say. Okay, let's say Bugatti. Just living his best life after this story happened. I really hope that this guy comes out as a winner, because this girl, like, there's like fucking a guy over, and then there's literally like, you took a piece of this man's body and put it into your mom, Like, that's just a whole nother world of you have no soul and you are fucked. Well, this weekend it looks like the Daytona 500 and the NASCAR season is officially starting. I know a lot of people probably don't watch NASCAR. I just got into it because of the truck series I watched in 2019. Now, I can actually watch it and I kind of understand it better. I don't know how. They go in circles. I know what you think. Stick. All they do is go in a left-hand fucking turn. How is that entertaining? Well, when you finally find a guy that you like, it's way more entertaining. Trust me. How I really got into NASCAR was my buddy Nathan through a Talladega a gambling thing. You know, we all chipped in. Like, he had a board, a big fucking board, where, you know, you could pick your racers. Like, I think he did it through the point system of NASCAR where, you know, the top point guys were like $5 and then it went down from there. And me, at this point, not knowing a fucking thing about NASCAR, I didn't know a goddamn thing. I brought a couple bucks. I didn't know we were gambling. I think I only had like $6 or $7 in my name. And I just picked some random numbers. And one of the numbers was so happened to be 21, my guy Matty D. Matty De Benedetto, that was my guy. And that Talladega race last year was a nightmare. It was just crashes left, right, and center. I don't even know how many cars were left by the end, but there wasn't a lot. And there was my boy Matty D in the front. I was so proud of him. I was like, man, I think I spent a fucking $1 on this guy, and he might win the Talladega. And just like God just hates me like he always does, this guy literally lost by a hair. I mean, like barely a bumper, barely a half a second. This guy lost by. And apparently the guy who beat him went underneath the yellow line. And I guess he wasn't supposed to win. Like, that's not okay. But they gave it to him anyways. My man was this fucking close to winning. And ever since, I was like, that is my boy. Matty D is the biggest underdog, and he almost won the race. And I watched the whole season of NASCAR rooting for my guy. You know, sometimes he'd end up in the top 10, sometimes he'd end up dead last, or sometimes he'd end up somewhere in the middle. And then you hear, and then I realized, oh shit, his contract is up. So I'm sitting there like, hoping to God that someone will pick his ass up and he'll still be in NASCAR. I prayed and prayed and prayed for that day. Come on, someone pick him up. Well, I'm going to tell you, by the end of his year, he fucking sucked. Like my girlfriend was rooting for this guy. She hates NASCAR, and she was even rooting for him. Like, come on, maybe he can win one race before the end of the season. And he would do good. You get up there. I saw him in first a couple times, and then the cars would like go by him like he was like a dead last car. Like, looked like he was just getting lapped. Cars started passing him so bad. It got to the point where even my girlfriend was like, "Why are you even rooting for this guy?" It's a simple answer. I was always the underdog in high school when I was in fucking sports. Not like actual sports. I mean gym class. No one believed in me. And sometimes I'd hit a fucking home run. And they'd be like, amazing. Like home run. You know, my name's up in the stars or some shit. And that's the way I looked at this guy, man. He was that close. He was the biggest underdog. So I always had all my heart on Matty D. And if he ever won a race and I actually put money on it, I would be fucking rich, because he would get so close and yet somehow always blow it. Know what the worst part is? So like I said, Matty D, he is now, his contract was up. And I was like, you know, he disappeared for a while. Everyone's like, oh, where's Matty D? I wonder where he's gonna be. What's happening with him? He pissed off a bunch of people with some political shit he said. I don't remember what. He apologized for it, and life goes on. But he announced it. I was so upset when he actually announced it, but he announced it. Matt De Benedetto is now in the camping truck series. Now you may be asking yourself, why am I upset that he is in the truck series and not in NASCAR? It's because He's not in NASCAR. No, it's not. It's because this year they're not coming back to Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, which upsets me because if there's one thing that I love is watching the trucks at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. But on top of the fact that a guy that I actually rooted for and always saw come on, like he might win and is one of my favorite drivers, could actually be there and I could have met him. Or at least watched him race. And guess what? They're not coming this year. And watch, like the year later, we're going to have him come back over the border because the border's open. And he is not going to be... He's probably going to get into Xfinity Series, or he's going to go back into the Cup Series. Or he'll just get kicked out because who knows, he might do bad in the Truck Series. I mean, Haley Deegan's in the Truck Series, and I don't know. She does all right, I guess. But I mean, like, if he does as bad as he did in NASCAR, oh my God, just give up. Go back to the Formula V's. I don't even know if you ever race them, but they're funner. They're more fun. They have open tires. You know, it's like a go-kart, a big-size go-kart, except you can really hurt yourself on it. God. This would be the first year actually where I'm actually interested in NASCAR, where I actually watch Daytona 500, where I'm interested in it. My first actual ever Daytona 500, I shit you not, my first ever NASCAR race I ever watched was Daytona 500, and it was the year that Dale Earnhardt died. And he was my favorite race car driver. The only reason why he was my favorite race car driver was because my dad always got me his like models. Like I had like the posters of him my dad got and stuff, and he was like, I started watching NASCAR. I'm like, number 3, that's my guy, and he died. And it didn't traumatize me because like I like literally you can watch the old footage of him flipping cars and getting back in them and driving them. And this one, it looks like the most innocent crash ever, and it killed him. It snapped his neck. It was nuts. I remember just sitting there watching the news right after. My parents like, oh, Earnhardt died. And my dumb ass, how old was that? I was very young. I thought the news was fake. And they had to sit there and tell me it was real and Earnhardt's actually dead. And I was like, oh, fuck. And I started rooting for his kid. But with this year, like, you know, I came back into NASCAR. None of the guys I ever watched, like Harvick was still in it. And I think Jimmy Johnson's still in it. But none of the guys I used to watch are in it anymore. You know, Jeff Gordon's gone, Junior's gone, Stewart's gone. All those guys are gone. So I was like, who am I going to root for? So this year, since Matty D's out, I have picked my official guy I'm going to root for. And I'm going to tell you why I'm rooting for him. First of all, he won the first ever year at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park at the Truck Series. I think it was the first year. It was a cheap way he did it, but he won it. And he's young, and you know he killed it. He's been doing good in the series. And out of all the guys, you know, like I love Truex Jr. He's good. Bubba Wallace, I'm not a big fan of. Who else do you? I can't think of anyone else. I can't think of anyone else right now. But I'm just going to tell you, this year I'm rooting for the number 9, Chase Elliott, my boy. You're going to be my boy this year, so win some races for me, please. I need to at least watch one race where you win so I can go up and be like, yeah, my guy won. Because it gets really boring when your guy's like not even in the top 10. And you're just saying like, well, that was a waste of an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours of a car's going in circle. My guy wasn't even close. For some reason, you just sit there and keep rooting like, oh shit, come on, like, he's in 15th, maybe he'll go up. And then he pits, and you're like, fuck. My guy almost had it, but he had to pit. And sometimes, you know, everyone else pits, and he's in the first, and you're like, yes, just keep it. But guess what? Everyone else's tires are brand new, and they just pass right by. My guy, Matty D, really needs to figure out some shit. I'm not chirping him. I still love him. And if I can find a way to watch a Truck Series, I'm definitely watching him in the Truck Series. But I mean, this is sick. I'm actually excited for the NASCAR series this year. They got the new cars where it's different type of shifting. And I mean, once NASCAR starts, I mean, that means Pinty Series starts, which is the Canadian NASCAR. And that means Moss Sport even more, which is Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. I've talked about that on the podcast. Had so much fun at that track. I love camping there. I love drinking there. It's like my little vacation. And plus, I can rock this hat. I definitely say my Honestly Lazy hat. Definitely a Mossboard hat. I've actually done that. And a zero gravity chair, just sat there with a bunch of empties laying around me while I'm drinking. It works. It's the way she goes. Gotta have a drink from time to time. But yeah, cannot wait for NASCAR this Saturday. Come on, rooting for Chase Elliott, my boy. And I think that'll do it for this week on the Honestly Lazy podcast. If you like this episode, please leave a like. I always like seeing likes. Make sure you subscribe and all that good stuff. Follow me on Spotify to keep up to date. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram so you know when I'm posting all the new episodes. My camera's about to die, so this has got to be a quick outro. It's literally flashing. So I hope everyone has a great weekend. It is the long weekend in Canada, so everyone have a great Canada Day. I'll see you next week. And follow the social medias and all that good shit. And I'll see you next time. All right, my camera's about to die, so bye.
Honestly Lazy Podcast.